Oh, 1, 2, 3, and the place to be. It's your player partners from the bottom of the map.
From the bottom of the map.
It's your dog Israel.
Ike Hayes.
And before we go ahead and tap on in, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, tell a friend that is them again. Um, and I had my little spill earlier, but I had to get my player partner in. We just gonna, just give it to you raw, like we've been getting it to you all season. Miami has another disgusting, embarrassing loss. 1-11 in bowl games. And let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. Y'all been giving us flack about going in on Mario and Shannon Dawson and how this team looks as preparation, and they go up on their bowl game and lay a fucking egg. They put up a stinker. One time for Ja'Cory Brown, he showed up. He played well. But, I said my 2 cents earlier, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and throw it to my dog and let him get his off.
First of all, I feel like both of our backups are better than Florida State's, right? Like those dudes with the correct play calling. And I know that because, when they put together good drives, he looked good. Mind you now, Buddy ain't had no reps. No reps the whole year. And and then it made me pissed off because I was like, so damn. When I'm asking, why does this man not have no goddamn packages, no wildcat packages? Why has he got no reps? You trying to tell me we couldn't use him at all? Yes, we could have. So it just shows me like, man, this coaching staff is incompetent as hell. They couldn't find no use for him at all. And I'm like, damn. Then for me, it was the fourth quarter. I'm looking at the fourth quarter. They down by 11, and I'm looking at a sequence of plays. I'm like, okay, so we're down by 11. We really need to score. First play it was a pass, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. But then the second play is an end around that doesn't really go anywhere. Then what I'm saying, he can't find anybody. He has to scramble. So now it's I forgot what happened, but they ended up going to fourth down. I'm thinking, okay, like you realize the seriousness of what's going on. Where's that special play? Run up the damn middle. What? And I think everybody who watch UM is like, so you mean to tell me you're going for it on your side of the field? Which I mean, I get it. Your defense really ain't stopping nobody. Which I mean, that's a whole nother point. But I'm like, damn. So why are we going vanilla when we were just, what I'm saying, the other quarters we were mixing it up. We were getting this man in rhythm. So I'm still asking myself, why is it when the quarterback's in rhythm, they just go vanilla for no reason, and they'll do it on drive after drive, and even in crucial times. And I'm like, damn, like y'all get paid millions of dollars. So you mean to tell me it was a no better sequence of playing that y'all could have went with on fourth down? And on top of that, there's no way that you're not mixing up the play calling like you are, because when you do it, it works. This man looks good. So he did his job. I feel like the coaches didn't put him in a position to win. I feel like they just had him out there. And I just feel like I smell incompetence, because it's just like when the times are crucial and we need great plays, you don't have them. Then I'm like, okay, so they can just run the ball every single time. And I'm watching them play Michigan football, which is every single time they need a third down, they can get it. Very rarely are they not converting. They're going to run. Y'all know they're going to run. They know they're going to run. Everybody at home know they're going to run. Y'all still can't stop it. And so I'm like, damn. So we just going to take a step backwards. And people are going to say, and I'm waiting for the excuses. Oh, you didn't have full strength. You didn't have this. But I'm like, bro, they're the 60th ranked recruiting class over there. They not beating us with nothing flashy. They just playing sound football. And I'm asking myself, why my team can't play sound football? They want to do vanilla offense. They want to have top-notch athletes. We want to have, last year, number 7 recruiting class. We got athletes from South Florida, but it's not sound football. There's just none. There's nothing fundamental. There's no philosophy. And I remember in the early interviews, Mario's like, yeah, I got a lot of respect for Greg Schiano. He's my mentor. Well, why the fuck you not listening? Why is this man beating you? And I'm like, he's beating you because everybody knows about you. Everybody knows that at the end of the day, you really don't know what you're doing. And I keep coming back to the same conclusion, because, everybody want to defend him in the comments. I'm sure in this video, they're going to hit me with excuses. Y'all not tired of having excuses? And when it's lesser teams now with lesser talent, but their coaches know how to coach up the talent, They have schemes. And when schemes don't work, they know how to adjust. Aren't y'all tired of losing in the same ways and then having to make excuses about it? Riddle me this, and I'm going to keep saying this. I want to know, when have we seen an elite O-line coach, an elite recruiter who is never a good coordinator become a great head coach? And I'm just starting to look at a lot of my common sense like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And then when he looks in the camera and he's talking, it's almost like, yo, this guy has to have the hugest ego because he knows that he's not really going to do anything flashy, but yet he expects to win. And y'all are going to sit down and listen to it. And I'm like, you don't get like, I'm thinking like, as a coach, you don't get tired of getting like the best athletes underperforming and then shooting a line of bullshit to the fans and the people, and then the fans sit there believe it, and then they'll, all the other podcasts. I wonder what they're gonna say. It's not Mario's fault. Is this? They're gonna give you optimism. No,
You know,
stop, y'all. Stop being optimistic.
you know who Mario is? Mario is Al Golden with the support of the administration. Like
Yes,
that's all he reminds me of. He just reminds me of he's gonna say all the right things. Um,
it starts with me.
yeah, it starts with me. He's gonna get in a press conference, and it's gonna be vanilla, just like his play calling, and and there's not going to be any real accountability, right? Because any other school, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to start looking at what's going on in the coach's box. I mean, it's just because you can't say that you don't have the talent. You have top notch talent. You have national championship type talent. So if it's not that, if your team is not competing, they're not even competing in games where they should be like blowing teams out. They look very bad. They have to, put the pressure and say, hey, this coaching staff is not getting the most out of the talent. They're just not getting the most out of the talent. And sometimes you want them to do well, right? This was their guy, and they want him to be successful. So a part of it is going to be they're going to have to go against their own ego and their own pride because he was handpicked. He was handpicked, and your handpicked guy, even if they had top 25 recruits, right? They still should be able to go out against a team like Rutgers and put up a better performance. And it's teams like you say, it's teams with lesser recruits, lesser athletes, lesser talent across the board that are being coached up better, that put up better showings and they play better than Miami does. And it is ridiculous that it continues to happen. And I'm gonna really start putting this. You know what? I'm gonna blame Mario, but I'm gonna put this on the administration. They did this with Al Golden, right? He was supposed to come in and clean up the bullshit. All right, I give him, but after a while, he went here. Then they went to Manny, another. Oh, this is one of a U alum. He's one of our guys, but Manny hadn't proven himself. Manny had came from what, Louisiana Tech. Manny hadn't proved himself. All right, you give Manny 3 years. Do you get another home pick guy who hadn't proven himself? He had one Pac-12 championship. He was 500 damn near at Oregon. He hadn't proven himself anywhere else. He comes to Miami and he's giving you more bullshit. And I'm just like, at what point in time are they going to stop with the bullshit? The administration has to go get the best coach, right? Rhett Lashley, he would be on my line right now. Rhett Lashley had, even though they lost their bowl game, all right, but them boys went 11-2. They went 10-2. They lost their bowl game, up 10-3. That was his first year as head coach. He's a head coach. So you got to go get the best coach. Just like you tell the coach, you got to get the best talent. You got to go get the best talent at coaching. I'm sorry. Like, I want to believe in Shannon Dawson, but he ain't did nothing. He ain't showed me nothing. He ain't giving me anything to believe in. Sorry. I don't know if it's between him or if it's between Mario, but neither one of them are giving me anything to believe in. Gidry, like I said, I felt like the players made him look better than what he was because his defensive scheme. This is against a team who, like you said, they're gonna run and they're gonna run, they're gonna run, they're gonna run, and you couldn't stop it. I think they had like maybe like 90 yards of passing. And they still just ran.
60 yards. That running back had 160 yards on the ground in the damn at the end of the third damn quarter. So, yo, I don't know whether y'all need to stack the box and dare them, but I'm like, nah, man, we could have been stacking the box. We could have been doing everything to disrupt their rhythm. And listen, they were disrupting our rhythm easy. Okay. But once we were able to change up plays, like you said, we were in a rhythm. You got better athletes. You got faster athletes. You can dominate this game. Like, I get it, they had a pretty cool O line, but it's like, nah, man, we got an O line too. We got a D line too. And so I just think that this is a precursor to what we're going to see this season. All those other teams, we're looking at the Virginia Tech, they're going to give us trouble. All those other teams with
Dude,
lesser teams are going to give us trouble. And everybody in the back you're not going to have anything to say. You're going to pout your horn when it's like we've been saying the same thing for 2 years. This guy doesn't develop talent. He didn't do it at Oregon. He is not an elite coordinator. I'm saying Lashley because Lashley was an elite coordinator because he didn't even have the line that Mario has. We had one 5-star, Leonard Taylor, on that defense. We didn't have any 5 stars. I don't even know if all of our O-line was 4 stars. Some of them were. It didn't matter. We couldn't even effectively run the ball, yet UM was averaging over 30 points a game, top 20 offense. So it's so think about it. It makes sense that he goes 10-2 or 10-3. And he does good in his first year, but he was an elite coordinator. I've already told you, Manny went back and got his quarterback coach because Manny's like, look, I need that type of offense. But at the end of the day, I just think once again it starts with Mario. And you're right, the administration. The administration really doesn't care about football, and the fans don't know enough. The fans, I remember when they tried to hire Greg Schiano at Tennessee, and Tennessee went in uproar, and their fans were like, no, no, no. Even though he would have been solid, but they like, no, they want offense. They got hyper. So it's like our fan base, they don't know football. They want to romanticize. When I hear fans talk, they keep talking to me about, we just have to do what Howard Schellenberger does. We just need to get the recruit. No, Howard Schellenberger authored a prolific offense with the Dolphins. He was an elite coordinator. God damn it, get an elite coordinator. The administration wants to sell you on things, and y'all just sit there and go along with it. I be shaking my head like, no, can we get Lane Kiffin? We wanted to get Lane Kiffin. That's not a bad pick at all. Why? Because he was an elite coordinator, and he has had high performing offenses everywhere he's went, and he's done more with less. Mario does less with more, and he's done it at Oregon. He did it there, and he did it at FIU. Why, for the life of me, these people keep saying, well, it's not his fault. It's not. Yes, it is. His resume says that this man is not a great head coach, let alone being elite. I don't even think he's a good head coach. I actually think he's a bad head coach. And I think that when we look at football 101, you guys are still not understanding. You need great coordinators. You need somebody who knows situational football. You need somebody who knows how to make adjustments. And for God's sake, you need somebody who knows goddamn time management, okay? He doesn't have any of those things.
Listen.
And you're defending feelings with no. Why? Why? But you know what? That's what type of fan base we have. A bunch of people with no facts talking about glory days, not realizing all of our coaches had great resumes and at least had won wherever they were at. Mario has not. He just comes from a good coaching tree, and he is the least talent of that whole coaching tree. And he has not elevated. And when he gives you that press conference, look what he's telling you. He's giving you no facts. What type of person is dealing with a person and they're telling you, yeah, I just messed up, but they won't improve it. They won't give you no facts. And it's like they believe their own aura. And I'm like, yo, this guy has to be so full of himself. Yo, his head is so big, can't nobody sit behind him. Come on, man.
And he's
Nah.
giving you that, we got to get better. We got to get better.
Starts with me.
Starts with me. We just got to work on getting better, coaching our guys up. Like, get out of here with the fuck shit, yo. Like, I'm tired of, and I think more people are going to look at maybe these exact plays, this play here, this play there, a drop pass here, a bad read there. And I'm gonna agree. Like, the defense surprisingly didn't show up this game. The defensive line, I don't think there was no sacks, maybe one, not many hurries, no batted balls, not a lot of tackle for losses, and a lot of missed tackles. Linebackers not ending up overrunning plays, not setting the edge like we've been saying all year, breaking contain. Um, you got two corners playing safety. So most of the time they have to make tackles because their running back, Rutgers running back, is making it through the first and second level. He's getting past the defensive line. Linebackers are out of position, holes everywhere. And you know what? Granted, this is where I say coaching supersedes all of that, right? Coaching, you start seeing how coaches make adjustments, right? We talk about maybe like Jim Harbaugh or somebody like Kirby Smart. You see them make, and you know, I'm gonna bring up Georgia, and because we have the same talent as Georgia. You see Georgia in a lot of games, the first half look really bad. There's a lot of teams that were actually beating them in the first half, and
Mm-hmm.
in the second half they come out and stomp mud holes in everybody. Right? They make adjustments. You start to see them, and Mario's not making adjustments. He's not making adjustments. They come out in the second half. One, they go into the half with timeouts. Don't make any sense. They leave this game with two timeouts. It doesn't make any sense. Even the announcer is saying, like, yo, y'all, it was like a minute 27 ago. They was like, why don't you call a timeout? When Rutgers had the ball and they were trying to stop them, why aren't you calling a timeout?
They don't like.
Them not knowing that the clock doesn't stop on first downs until under 2 minutes. They're like, why aren't you calling a timeout? You can't take them with you. So time management, coaching scheme,
Go back to time
defensive scheme.
management, though. Go back to time management. You've been a head coach now for over 10 years. You don't know to use the timeouts?
You can't
Once
take
again,
them.
we talking football 101. We talking your GED football class, okay? Use the timeout. So when everyone wasn't lined up and we had that block punt, you couldn't have used the timeout to get everybody ready. You wanted to go 4th and 2, which I think they did call the timeout right there, right?
No, Rutgers called the timeout.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Come on,
Rutgers
man.
called the timeout. They could have. Rutgers just wanted to see what they were going to line up in. They seen it, called the timeout.
So they're gonna make adjustments, and we ain't gonna make no adjustments. We supposed to call another timeout right after that, switch up the play and do something else. And I'm like, bro, so you mean to tell me you've been having a time management problem for the last 10 years and you don't know to improve this? What bothers me the most about him is that he don't know that he don't know. But he make $8 million to not know. Are you? But we could tell him, we could see it. And that's why I'm like, the other podcasters don't know football. There's no way that we're leaving timeouts on the table. That if you knew, and the thing is, like you said, I get it. Cause you was like, why call a timeout when you're not gonna make an adjustment? Yo, besides you being the head coach, I'm starting to feel like, dog, bulk of your job is adjustments and timeouts and understanding situational football.
I
That's your job.
mean, that
Your
is what
job.
you do.
You don't know your job.
That is what you do. You have formations to create leverage, right? So you have seven blockers on six defenders. So you have leverage. So you're drawing up plays to create leverage. You're getting, timeouts, and you're getting things in situations. So when you see the offense miss a line, instead of getting a 5 yard penalty, um, for illegal formation, you call a timeout. Get you guys lined up properly. If you see your quarterback doesn't see what's going on with the defense, call a timeout. All right, this is what you need to do. This is what the defense is showing you. If they audible out, if they drop out of this is what you. All it is really situations. All the situations, like you say, this is how you get your team in the best position. It's situations. So when we look at their formation and we see four receivers and one running back, right? It's 3rd and 2. 10 times out of 10, we know what the play is going to be. It's going to be halfback power. They're going to hand it off right to the running back and go right up the middle. All right. Most times when a team sees, unless they just have like just an absolutely dominant offensive line and a dominant running back that he's going to fall for 1 or 2 yards, most times you're just trying to create leverage. So leverage can sometimes just be misdirection. That's why we say, why don't you do some type of misdirection, so you get the defense flowing one way and you go the other way just to create a mismatch, right? That's all coaching. That's basic coaching shit. And we seeing this, and I'm not to say like we're professional coaches, but we're seeing the same patterns, right? That's all you do is you pick up tendencies and patterns. We're saying the same shit from week 1 all the way to week 13. And if I'm seeing it and you seeing it, don't you think the other coaching staff is seeing it? Don't you think the other scouting report, the people that's all they do is scout your plays, aren't they seeing it? As soon as they see you in that formation, that's why they never convert. That's why they never convert. But that's how Rutgers convert every single time. The shit, I'll be like, make it make sense to me. If Rutgers and third and two, third and three, fourth and one is converting every single time, and Miami in those same situations aren't converting anytime at all. As a matter of fact, they didn't do anything outside of the norm, and they just like, oh, somebody just dropped the pass or they just missed that one. They're literally doing the exact tendency. So if I say, oh, all right, this is the formation, I know exactly what they're gonna do. I'm just gonna send a couple linebackers up. They're not running outside. They're not gonna pull it. They're not gonna throw a pass. They're gonna do exactly what I think they're gonna do, and then they do it, bro. I
And you have
mean,
months to prepare. And at worst come to worst, force them to do something they don't want to do. Force them to do something that they didn't plan to do. If you lose that way, we can take that. But to get beat, how you knew they was going, how they was going to come at you, how you knew they were going to convert, and to not adjust, to not really come with that game plan. It's like, well, are you even studying? Are you studying? We talking about Rutgers now. We're not even talking about anybody that's the top of the Big Ten. We're talking about Rutgers, 6-6 Rutgers, Big Ten football that's going to run. You not stacking the box, blowing out the look, but then blitzing up the gut because they're gonna run up the gut. They're not running to the corners; they're running up the gut. All of your line is just missing tacklers, and they're doing fundamental football. They got their gap assignments. You already know what they're gonna do. So it's like, come on, and every single time they're doing it, and they're gonna run again after that. After they convert, they're gonna run again. Then they're gonna run again. Then they're gonna run again because you can't stop it. Which, think about it. What if they said, let's just do something else? No, you running plays, you get a rhythm, they can't stop it, you get out the rhythm and do something else. And I'm like, what? Why though? Why? Some of these things are common sense. Y'all make millions of dollars. We should not be watching lesser teams with better coaches make better decisions when our coach damn near makes close to 10 million. And he like, what else do you need? You got the money, you get the coordinators, you're getting the top talent. But it's like, come on, bro. I'm sorry. There are high school coaches. There are coaches, you know what I'm saying, at Eastern and Western Michigan that could take this team and dominate. Dominate. I'm I think we lose 4 games next year. I think we lose 4 games next year. And I think that he comes up with another excuse. I think it's painful and it's slow. And I just remember that I told y'all that. And we're gonna lose the teams that we should have no business. And we're gonna barely beat teams. Yo, this team, we play Florida first year. We about to get our coach first game of the season.
listen, I hope there's no more former Miami players or former scout graduate assistant coaches that want to be the coach at anymore. This shit got to be over with. They have to get the best coach. Listen, I don't care if it's Urban Meyer. Listen, I don't care who it is. Get the best coach. Dog, you get the best coach, then you're going to see the difference. You're not going to see the difference with great talent and bad coaching. You're not going to see the
They
difference.
still believe though. They still believe. So we got
Nah,
to.
like you say, get Urban Meyer this team.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Get
yeah.
Urban Meyer this type of talent. Damn the scandals and all that other shit. I'm talking pure coaching. If you're talking coaching and being able to listen, I even looked at all right. The knock on Lincoln Riley was their defense, right? Defense had been getting up all types of yards all year, and this is true. He had a backup quarterback who hadn't played all year behind his Heisman winning quarterback come in and throw 6 touchdowns.
It looked great. Looked great. Great play calling, by the way. They put that man in positions to win. And then he fired defensive coordinator and he looking people, he's taking accountability. He's like, listen, and not to say that he didn't say that last year, but now he He went and got UCLA's defensive coordinator, and you can tell he's being specific about what we need to fix and why we need to fix it. Mario is just Mario. No, he's like a deer in headlights. He can't really tell you what exactly he needs to fit. He'll never say time is management. And I'm like, bro, you're still not using timeouts that you can't take with you, bro. This man is
I
garbage.
mean,
This
you
man
gonna blame it on having a first time starting quarterback. You know,
who looked better than anything FSU had looked better. Him and Emery looked good. So here's the problem: you're not going to develop him. He should have been back there being developed. Why isn't this guy getting developed? I think Brown. I think he redshirted. If I'm him, I transfer. You're not going to get developed here, and you have talent. Okay, you have talent. You get in the rhythm. You could have won. This coaching staff is going to put you in bad positions, and they're not going to develop you. This is what we're talking about right here: non-developing of talent, baby.
yeah, and you know somebody like Ja'Cory Brown, like you can go somewhere and play for 3 years and really develop. Like you said, like you've been saying, like why hasn't he had packages? Why hasn't he had packages? Even if it's just to give a team a change of pace, just a different look. Get him in for 5 plays. Get him in for 5 or 6 plays. A lot of teams do it. A lot of teams have packages for quarterbacks. They call them their running quarterback or their throwing quarterback. They get him in for some packages, get him in for some plays, just to give a team a different look. Another
But
thing I was
we
like,
needed it though. We needed it. There have been games where we could not move the ball, so it's like, why not? Okay, we don't have a special play on 4th and 2. It's very obvious. And I'm like, yo. So we just hand the ball off on 4th and 2. We got tight ends out there. We got a dual threat quarterback who can run. We you know what I'm saying? Like we could have used motion. We could have really set that up, fake the pass, throw to the tight end. The tight end is not open. Here's a guy that can take off. Here's a guy that can take off. So I'm like, come on, man. We had so many different things to do on that 4th down. That 4th down summed up the game for me. And I knew at that point, I was like, you know what? This coaching staff, they don't have it. They don't have it, and they're incompetent, because we wouldn't even be in this position if you would have continued to mix up the plays. And I'm like, you've been doing that the whole season. So you're going to continue to do it. You're not going to use a timeout. We're not going to adjust. Once again, why get the number 3 class in the country if all you want to do is just win with the talent, when these other teams are going to outwork you? And what's the onus? Hard work going to be talent when talent ain't hard working. And you know, it's the coach's fault. No, that's why a lot of them boys want to leave. And I see, I remember that game when they cried, and I'm like, yes, y'all, you don't want to cry instantly. Y'all, we're going to die a slow death crying all weekend. Listen, that coaching staff, don't hope you're going to be disappointed. I'm telling you now, be prepared to lose 3 games to people that we don't need to lose to, okay? That's all I got to say, man. I ain't got nothing else to say, man.
well, let me say, I want to say shout out to the other podcast because I actually starting to hear more people. You know, a lot of people had been counter to what we have been saying all year. But like now, it's like the proof is in the pudding. You can't go nowhere else now. There is no other. There is no rebuild to hide behind. There is no there's no TVD to hide behind. There's nothing to hide behind right now. Like Mario front and center spotlight is on you. It's all on you. We seen it. You had a chance to prove your point, to say, hey, look, this is what the rebuild is doing. We're gonna come in the next year. We just stomped the mud hole in Rutgers, and this is how we gonna carry this momentum in the next year with this number 3 recruiting class. No. What does Mario do on cue? Gets outcoached by I like Greg Schiano. Like I said, I like Greg Schiano, but still a 6-6 Rutgers team that
Yeah.
lost 4 in a row. But what I would say, he's a defensive coach. His defense came to play. Both his lines, his offensive line and his defensive line, they dominated, and they got a turnover and they won a game. That's all you need to do, and that's going to carry over positive momentum for him and they recruiting class and they program. So they look like they're going up, even though they lost 4 games in a row.
Now
We
they
look
7.
like we going down. So it's just like, all right, y'all. we all gotta collectively just say what it is. And it's just we gotta get a good coach. We haven't had one. Mark Rick might have been like our best coach, but Mark Rick, he was just tired. Like he was on his way. He was done coaching anyway. But Mark Rick gave us a little bit of life. Manny is going to be gunning for us next year, so we're gonna have to deal with Manny. Um, we're gonna have to deal with if Florida State fuck around and get Cam Ward. We're gonna have to deal with them.
If you it's shit, if I'm Cam Ward and I saw that, I'm going to Florida State. I'm going to Florida State because look at the plays they're gonna have for you. Like the whole all of the pundits have been saying, if you go to UM, you're not gonna win the Heisman because the team is gonna make bad decisions. They're not gonna develop you. You're developing yourself, but they're not gonna put you in positions to win, and your play calling is gonna be horrendous. Don't come here. Don't come here because
Seven
you
and
got.
six. 7-6. This is the best you can muster. 7-6 with this class, with this type of talent, with the transfers we even got in.
Hell, you
Seven and
didn't
six.
have to go 5-7. You didn't have to go 5-7.
Well, listen, if that's all you got to say, you know what I'm saying. And we're gonna get into it more because I feel like he deserved all the smoke. He deserved all of it.
He been deserved the smoke. We've been saying it since day one. I want them other podcasts to apologize because we've been right. I want them to come back and say I was wrong for supporting. I wanted to believe. Say all of that. Don't lie now. Don't try to switch. Don't try to move the goalpost to get the field goal. You know what I'm saying? No, 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 no. I told y'all, stop having hope. They say, you know how Jesse say keep hope alive? No, you don't. Be honest with yourself, okay? You need a tall glass of truth, okay? Tall glass of truth. This man is not a good coach. You're gonna get the number 3 recruiting class. You're gonna lose by 3 or 4 games. And hell, I'm being optimistic, but now we're gonna get our coach and our class. Telling you now, everybody know it too. Everybody. So this is gonna have to eat the jokes. All them jokes. Yeah. Mm-mm. Look at them.
And that's the difference between us and the other one. We're gonna just get it to you raw. We ain't here to protect nobody's feelings. A lot of them be trying to protect people's feelings and let's believe in the coaching staff and Mario. This. Nah, man, fuck that. That nigga, man, Mario ain't about shit out there. He ain't about shit. He ain't been about shit. He fooled y'all. He fooled y'all out of $8 million a year for 10 years. He fooled you. All right, you been had. You been got. You been hoodwinked, bamboozled. Okay,
If
you
you
been for
feel
that.
still, you're welcome to go in the comments and break down why he's a good coach, why this gonna be the year. But just know that the comments gonna sit there and they're not gonna age well. You're gonna have to come back and apologize. That's all I got to say for the last time.
Well, like we always say, go ahead and like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so when these videos drop, you can jump in. You can tap in with us. Hit the comments because we gonna jump in the comments too. We've been seeing a lot of what y'all been talking about, so we gonna we'll have our swift rebuttals for you. Okay, all right, and keep rocking with us. As we continue to grow this channel and give you the real spill, not none of that fake. What I'm saying, trying to be Mr. Nice Guy stuff. Finna give you the rawness like we need to hear it. But it's your player partners from the bottom of the map.
The bottom of the map.
We gone.